Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something truly essential. We will talk about how to learn English alone. A great many folks believe that learning English without a teacher is very challenging. They think they need a classroom, a coach, or a friend who speaks English fluently. But that's not true. You can learn English alone. You can improve each and every day. You can become confident. You only need patience, practice, and a powerful desire to learn. Let me tell you a story. Several years ago I met a young man named Ali. Ali wanted to speak English fluently. He lived in a little town. There were no English teachers near his home. None of his friends spoke English. He felt unhappy because he thought he could never learn English by himself. Every time he heard someone speaking English, he felt nervous. He believed that learning English alone was impossible. One day, Ali made a decision. He told himself, I may not have a teacher, but I have time, effort, and determination. That day changed his life. He decided to become his own teacher. He began learning English alone, one little step at a time. The first thing Ali did was create a simple daily routine. He understood that learning a language requires consistency. So, every morning, he spent 15 minutes listening to English. At first, he understood almost nothing. The words sounded very quick. The sentences seemed confusing. But he continued listening each and every day. After 2 weeks, something interesting happened. Ali began to recognize several words. He heard simple greetings. He recognized common expressions. This little improvement made him feel excited. He realized that learning English was possible if he remained patient. Listening became a significant part of his daily life. He listened to English stories while walking. He listened to simple conversations while eating. He listened before going to sleep. Gradually, his ears became familiar with the sounds of English. Another thing Ali did was speak English to himself. At first, this felt strange. He worried that people would think he was crazy. So he practiced when he was alone. He looked around his room and described everything in English. He said, "This is my chair," he said. "I have a blue notebook," he said. "Today the weather is hot." These were simple sentences, but they assisted him build confidence. Sometimes Ali made many mistakes. He forgot words. He used incorrect grammar, but he remembered something significant. Mistakes aren't enemies. Mistakes are teachers. Every mistake assisted him learn something new. Reading also became part of his learning journey. Ali didn't begin with challenging books. He began with very simple stories for children. The stories were short. The sentences were simple. There were pictures that assisted him understand the meaning. One day, he read a story about a big bird learning to fly. The bird was afraid at first. It fell many times. But eventually, it learned how to fly. Ali loved this story because he felt the bird was just like him. He was learning English step by step. As he continued reading, he learned many new words. He learned how sentences were formed. He noticed how people used expressions in different situations. Reading assisted him improve without feeling stressed. Writing was another significant activity. Every evening, Ali wrote several sentences in a notebook. He wrote about his day. He wrote about his family. He wrote about his dreams and goals. At first, his writing was very simple. Sometimes, he wrote only 3 or 4 sentences. But each and every day, he added something new. After several months, he noticed that his writing had become longer and clearer. Ali also discovered the importance of repetition. Whenever he learned a new word, he repeated it many times. He said the word aloud. He wrote it several times. He used it in different sentences. Repetition assisted him remember vocabulary more easily. Another thing that assisted Ali was staying positive. There were many days when he felt frustrated. Sometimes he couldn't understand what he was listening to. Sometimes he forgot words he had already learned. On those days, he reminded himself that learning takes time. He stopped comparing himself to others. Instead, he compared himself to the person he had been yesterday. If he knew one new word today, that was progress. If he understood one new sentence today, that was success. Ali also learned to celebrate little achievements. When he completed his first English storybook, he felt proud. When he spoke for 1 minute without stopping, he celebrated. When he understood an English video without subtitles, he became even more motivated. Gradually, month after month, Ali became more confident. He realized that learning English alone wasn't about being perfect. It was about being consistent. It was about practicing each and every day. It was about believing in himself. If you want to learn English alone, remember Ali's story. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You only need to begin. Take one little step today. Listen to one English story. Learn one new word. Speak one English sentence. Every great journey begins with a single step. Your English journey can begin today. Believe in yourself. Stay patient. Keep practicing. One day, you will look back and realize how far you have come. Chapter 2: Building your English environment at home. We will learn how to create an English environment at home. A great many folks think they need to travel to another country to learn English. They believe they must live in an English-speaking place. But this isn't always true. You can create your own English world right inside your home. This is exactly what Ali decided to do. After several months of studying English alone, Ali realized something significant. He spent only 1 hour studying English each and every day, near her sister, speak too, but he spent the rest of the day using his native language. He understood that if he wanted to improve quicker, he needed to surround himself with English. One morning, Ali made a new plan. He decided to bring English into his daily life. He began with something very simple. He changed the language settings on his phone from his native language to English. At first, this decision scared him. He couldn't understand many words on the screen. Sometimes he pressed the wrong buttons. Sometimes he became frustrated. But after several weeks, he noticed something interesting. He had learned many new words without even trying. Every time he opened his phone, he saw English. Every notification became a learning opportunity. Every menu taught him new vocabulary. Gradually, using English became normal for him. Then, Ali looked around his room. He decided to label everything in English. He wrote the word door on a piece of paper and attached it to the door. He wrote window, table, chair, mirror, and bed on other pieces of paper. Whenever he entered his room, he saw English words everywhere. He repeated them aloud each and every day. Soon, he no longer needed to translate these words in his mind. They became natural. Another significant thing Ali did was listen to English each and every day. He didn't wait for study time. He listened while eating breakfast. He listened while cleaning his room. He listened while walking outside. At first, he listened to very simple English stories. He chose stories made for children because they used simple vocabulary and short sentences. Sometimes, he listened to the same story 5 or 6 times. A great many folks think this is boring. But, Ali discovered that repetition is one of the best ways to learn. Every time he listened again, he understood more words. Every repetition made his brain powerfuler. After several weeks, he began listening to simple podcasts. He didn't understand every word, and that was okay. His goal wasn't perfection. His goal was improvement. Ali also began watching English videos each and every day. He watched cartoons, educational videos, and short English conversations. At first, he used subtitles in his native language. Later, he changed to English subtitles. Eventually, he tried watching without subtitles. Sometimes he understood only 50% of the conversation, but he continued watching each and every day. He learned something new. He learned pronunciation, expressions, and natural speaking patterns. One evening, Ali watched a simple English movie. He paused the movie whenever he heard an interesting sentence. He repeated the sentence several times. He copied the pronunciation and intonation. This practice assisted him sound more natural. Ali also discovered the power of speaking to himself. Since he had nobody to practice with, he became his own conversation partner. He asked himself questions and answered them in English. He asked, "How was my day?" Then he answered, "My day was great. I studied English for 1 hour." He asked, "What will I do tomorrow?" Then he answered, "Tomorrow I will read an English story and learn new words." At first, these conversations felt strange, but after some time, they became enjoyable. Speaking to himself assisted him think directly in English. Another thing Ali did was keep an English journal. Every night before sleeping, he wrote about his day. Some days he wrote only 3 sentences. Other days he wrote an entire page. He wrote about his experiences, his feelings, and his dreams. He wrote about the mistakes he made and the things he learned. Writing each and every day assisted him organize his thoughts in English. Ali also used little pieces of free time wisely. Whenever he waited for a bus, he reviewed vocabulary. While standing in line, he practiced speaking silently in his mind. During short breaks, he listened to English audio. He realized that learning English wasn't only about studying for hours. It was about using every opportunity to practice. Sometimes Ali felt tired. Sometimes he felt frustrated. There were days when he thought he was making no progress. But then he looked at his old notebook. He saw the simple sentences he had written months earlier. He compared them with his current writing. The difference surprised him. He realized that he had improved much more than he had noticed. This gave him new motivation. Ali also learned a significant lesson. He understood that consistency is more powerful than intensity. Studying for 15 minutes each and every day was improved than studying for 5 hours once a week. Little by little, day after day, his English became powerfuler. If you want to learn English alone, create your own English environment. Surround yourself with English. Listen each and every day. Read each and every day. Write each and every day. Speak each and every day. Make English a part of your life. Remember, you don't need a perfect environment. You only need a learning environment. Every little action you take today will assist you become improved tomorrow. Learning English alone isn't about being alone, it's about becoming your own teacher, your own friend, and your own largest supporter. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep believing in yourself. Learning to speak English without a speaking partner. We will talk about one of the largest problems that English learners face. A great many folks ask, how can I practice speaking if I have nobody to talk to? This is a significant question, and today we will find the answer. When Ali first began learning English alone, he had the same problem. He didn't have any English speaking friends. There were no English clubs in his town. He didn't know anyone who could practice with him. Because of this, he became worried. One day, Ali asked himself, do I really need another person to practice speaking? He thought about this question for a long time. Then, he decided to try something unusual. He decided to become his own speaking partner. The first thing Ali did was begin talking to himself in English. At first, it felt very strange. He stood in front of a mirror and introduced himself. He said, hello, my name is Ali. I am learning English. I want to speak English fluently. He repeated these simple sentences each and every day. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes he made mistakes. But he continued speaking. After several days, speaking to himself became easier. He began talking about other things. He talked about his family. He talked about his hobbies. He talked about what he ate for breakfast. One morning, Ali looked outside his window and said, today the weather is sunny. The sky is blue. I think it will be a lovely day. These simple exercises assisted him become more comfortable with speaking English. Another method Ali used was describing everything around him. Whenever he walked outside, he described what he saw. He said, there's a man walking on the street, there's a car in front of the shop. The weather is very hot today. This exercise assisted him think quickly in English. It also assisted him learn new vocabulary naturally. Ali also began asking himself questions. This became one of his favorite exercises. He asked, what did I do yesterday? Then he answered, yesterday, I studied English for 1 hour. I watched an English video and read a short story. He asked another question, what will I do tomorrow? Then he answered, tomorrow, I will practice speaking and learn 10 new words. This simple habit improved his speaking skills each and every day. One evening, Ali discovered another powerful technique. Mikey. He began reading English stories aloud. He didn't read silently. He spoke every word clearly and gradually. At first, his pronunciation wasn't perfect. Some words were challenging. But each and every day, he improved a bit more. Reading aloud assisted him in many ways. It improved his pronunciation. It improved his speaking speed. It also increased his confidence. After several weeks, Ali decided to record his voice. Powerful. He used his phone and recorded himself speaking English for 1 minute. When he listened to the recording, he felt surprised. He noticed many mistakes. Some words were unclear. Some sentences sounded unnatural. At first, he felt embarrassed. Nobody likes hearing their own mistakes. But then he realized something significant. Hearing his mistakes assisted him improve. So, he continued recording himself each and every day. After 1 month, he listened to his old recordings again. He could clearly hear the improvement. His pronunciation had become improved. His speaking speed had increased. He sounded more confident. This motivated him to continue. Another technique Ali used was shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating the exact same words immediately. Ali found short English videos online. He listened to one sentence and paused the video. Then he repeated the sentence exactly as he heard it. He copied the pronunciation. He copied the rhythm. He copied the emotion. For example, if the speaker said, "How are you doing today?" Ali repeated, "How are you doing today?" He practiced the same sentence many times. At first, this exercise was challenging. The speakers talked very quick. But after practicing each and every day, Ali became much improved. Shadowing assisted him sound more natural. Ali also practiced storytelling. Every evening, he tried to tell a simple story in English. Sometimes he told stories about his childhood. Sometimes he talked about his school days. Sometimes he created funny imaginary stories. One day, he told a story about losing his umbrella during a rainy day. Another day, he told a story about a cat that wanted to become a pilot. These stories weren't perfect. They contained mistakes, but they assisted him become more creative and fluent. Another significant lesson Ali learned was to stop being afraid of mistakes. In the beginning, every mistake made him feel embarrassed. He wanted to speak perfectly before speaking at all. But one day, he understood that this was impossible. Children don't learn their first language perfectly. They make thousands of mistakes. Yet they continue speaking. Ali decided to do the same. Every mistake became an opportunity to learn. Every error became a lesson gradually. His fear disappeared. He also learned that confidence comes from practice, not from waiting. A great many folks say, "I will speak when I become confident," but Ali discovered the opposite. You become confident because you speak. The more he practiced, the more confident he became. After several months, Ali could speak English for 5 minutes without stopping. Then he could speak for 10 minutes. Eventually, he could speak for much longer. He realized that speaking English alone wasn't impossible. In fact, it was one of the best ways to improve because he could practice anytime and anywhere. If you're learning English alone, remember this significant lesson. You don't need to wait for a perfect partner. You already have the best speaking partner available. That partner is you. Talk to yourself. Read aloud. Record your voice. Tell stories. Ask yourself questions. Practice each and every day. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but with time, it will become natural. Remember, fluency isn't built in one day, it's built one sentence at a time, one conversation at a time, and one practice session at a time. Believe in yourself. Keep speaking. Keep learning. Keep moving forward. Chapter 4. Building vocabulary and thinking in English. When Ali first began speaking English, he faced a large problem. He wanted to say many things, but he didn't know enough words. Sometimes he knew what he wanted to say in his native language, but he couldn't say it in English. This made him feel frustrated. One day, Ali asked himself, "How can I learn more words without forgetting them?" He had already tried memorizing long vocabulary lists. He wrote hundreds of words in a notebook, but after several days, he forgot most of them. Then he realized something significant. Learning vocabulary isn't about memorizing words, it's about using words. So, Ali changed his method. Instead of learning 50 words in one day, he began learning 5 words each and every day. He chose words that were useful in daily life. He learned words like delighted, tired, lovely, significant, and remember. When he learned a new word, he didn't stop there. He used the word many times. He hear about Joe Sector Pamel, for example. When he learned the word lovely, he made many sentences. He said, "The sky is lovely." He said, "This book is beautiful." He said, "Today is a beautiful day." Using the word assisted him remember it. Another thing Ali did was create a vocabulary notebook. Every time he learned a new word, he wrote it down. But he didn't write only the meaning. He also wrote example sentences. For example, word, improve meaning, to become improved. Sentence, I want to improve my English each and every day. This method assisted him understand how to use the word naturally. Ali also learned that repetition was truly essential. Every night before sleeping, he reviewed the words he had learned during the day. Every weekend, he reviewed all the words from the previous week. At first, reviewing felt boring, but after some time, he noticed that he was forgetting fewer words. His vocabulary gradually became powerfuler. Another technique that assisted Ali was learning phrases instead of single words. For example, he didn't only learn the word make, he learned complete phrases like make a decision, make a mistake, make a friend. He discovered that native speakers often use groups of words together. Learning phrases assisted him sound more natural when he spoke. One day, Ali learned the phrase never give up. He liked this phrase very much because it described his learning journey. He wrote it on a piece of paper and put it on his wall. Every morning, he read it aloud. Never give up. This simple phrase became his motivation. As Ali's vocabulary improved, he faced another challenge. He still translated everything in his mind before speaking. For example, when someone asked him a question, he first thought in his native language. Then he translated the sentence into English. This process was gradual and challenging. He wanted to think directly in English. At first, he believed this was impossible. But one day, he decided to try. He began with very simple thoughts. When he woke up in the morning, he said to himself, I am tired. When he ate quick, he thought, this food tastes great. When he walked outside, he thought, the weather is hot today. These were very simple thoughts, but they were an insignificant beginning. At first, Ali accidentally switched back to his native language many times, but every time he noticed this happening, he gently returned to English. After several weeks, something surprising happened. He no longer needed to translate simple sentences. He began thinking directly in English without realizing it. This discovery made him very delighted. Ali also used pictures to improve his thinking skills. Instead of translating words, he connected English words directly to images. When he saw a tree, he thought tree. When he saw a dog, he thought dog. When he saw rain, he thought rain. This method assisted his brain build direct connections with English. Another exercise Ali practiced was narrating his day in English. As he performed daily activities, he described everything in his mind. I am brushing my teeth. I am drinking water. I am walking to the market. I am reading a book. This exercise seemed simple, but it trained his brain to think automatically in English. Sometimes Ali became frustrated because he couldn't express complicated ideas. But then, he remembered something significant. Children don't begin speaking with challenging sentences. They begin with simple words and simple thoughts. So, Ali stopped trying to sound perfect. Instead, he focused on expressing his ideas clearly. For example, instead of saying I am experiencing considerable exhaustion due to excessive work, he simply said, I am very tired because I worked a lot. Simple English assisted him become more fluent. Ali also discovered that reading assisted improve thinking skills each and every day. He read short stories, articles, and simple conversations. As he read more, he began recognizing sentence patterns naturally. Without realizing it, his brain was learning how English worked gradually. He stopped translating grammar rules in his mind. English began feeling more natural. One evening, while talking to himself, Ali suddenly realized something astonishing. For the first time, he had spoken for several minutes without translating. He had simply thought and spoken in English. He felt proud. That moment changed his confidence forever. Ali understood that thinking in English wasn't a magical skill. It was simply a habit. And like every habit, it became easier with daily practice. If you want to learn English alone, remember this significant lesson: don't try to learn thousands of words quickly. Learn several useful words each and every day. Use them often. Repeat them. Write them. Speak them. And most significantly, begin thinking in English today. Begin with simple thoughts. Think about your food. Think about your room. Think about your family. Think about your day. Little by little, your brain will adapt. One day, you will realize that you're no longer translating, you're simply thinking. And that's the moment when your English journey becomes truly exciting. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Chapter 5. Using reading and listening to become fluent. We will talk about two powerful skills that can completely change your English learning journey. We will talk about reading and listening. When Ali first began learning English, he believed that speaking was the most significant skill. Tyod drew 4. He spent most of his time trying to memorize grammar rules and practice speaking. But after several months, he realized something significant: great speakers are usually good listeners and good readers. This discovery changed his learning method. Ali decided to spend more time reading and listening each and every day. At first, he didn't know where to begin. There were thousands of books, videos, and audio lessons available. He felt confused. Then he remembered an significant rule: begin simple. So, Ali chose very simple English stories. These stories were written for beginners. They had short sentences and simple vocabulary. He didn't choose challenging books because he wanted to enjoy learning. The first story he read was about a little rabbit looking for food. The story was simple, but Ali enjoyed it. He learned new words, and more significantly, he understood the entire story. This gave him confidence. Every evening, Ali read for 20 minutes. Sometimes he read children's stories. Sometimes he read short articles. Sometimes he read simple conversations. At first, he wanted to stop every time he found a new word. He wanted to use the dictionary constantly. But then he learned another significant lesson. You don't need to understand every single word. Instead, he tried to understand the general meaning of the text. Surprisingly, this made reading easier and more enjoyable. As weeks passed, Ali noticed something interesting. Words that once seemed challenging began appearing again and again. Because he saw these words many times, he remembered them naturally. Reading became less of a study activity and more of a habit. One day, Ali read a story about a boy who wanted to become a pilot. The story inspired him. After completing it, he tried to tell the story in his own words. At first, he forgot many details, but this exercise assisted him improve both his reading and speaking skills. Soon, Ali began keeping a list of his favorite sentences. Whenever he found a useful sentence, he wrote it in his notebook. For example, he wrote, "Practice makes progress. Never stop learning. Every mistake is a lesson." He read these sentences each and every day. Eventually, they became part of his natural speech. While reading assisted Ali improve his vocabulary and grammar, listening helped him understand how English really sounded. At first, listening was very challenging. When Ali listened to native speakers, they seemed to speak too quick. He could recognize individual words, but he couldn't understand complete sentences. This frustrated him, but instead of giving up, Ali decided to practice listening each and every day. He began with very short audio lessons. Each lesson lasted only 2 or 3 minutes. He listened to the same audio several times. The first time, he understood very little. The second time, he understood a bit more. The third time, he understood even more. This repeated listening exercise became one of his favorite learning methods. Ali also began listening to English songs. At first, he listened only for enjoyment, but later, he began reading the song lyrics while listening. This assisted him learn pronunciation, rhythm, and new vocabulary. Sometimes he sang along with the songs. Although his singing wasn't perfect, it assisted him become more comfortable speaking English. Another powerful tool Ali discovered was podcasts. He found podcasts made for English learners. These podcasts used simple language and discussed interesting topics. Ali listened while walking. He listened while cleaning his room. He listened while traveling. Gradually, listening became part of his daily routine. One day, something astonishing happened. Ali was listening to an English podcast while making tea. Suddenly, he realized that he understood almost everything. He stopped what he was doing and listened carefully. For the first time, he understood an entire conversation without translating. He felt excited. That moment gave him confidence that he was improving. Ali also learned that active listening was truly essential. Instead of listening passively, he paid close attention to pronunciation, sentence structure, and expressions. He repeated interesting phrases aloud. He copied the speaker's pronunciation and rhythm. This technique assisted him sound more natural. Another habit Ali developed was reading aloud while listening. He found stories that included both audio and text. First, he listened. Then he read the text. After that, he listened and read at the same time. Finally, he tried reading aloud by himself. This exercise improved his pronunciation, listening comprehension, and speaking ability all at once. Sometimes Ali became discouraged. There were days when he felt that his listening skills weren't improving. There were days when reading felt challenging. But whenever this happened, he He reminded himself of one significant truth. Improvement happens gradually. You may not notice your progress each and every day, but if you continue practicing, you will eventually see the results. After 1 year of daily reading and listening practice, Ali noticed a huge difference. He could understand movies improved. He could follow conversations more easily. He could read books that once seemed impossible. Most significantly, he felt confident. Ali realized that reading and listening weren't separate skills. They were the foundation of speaking and writing. The more he listened, the improved he spoke. The more he read, the improved he wrote. Everything was connected. If you want to learn English alone, make reading and listening part of your daily life. Read simple stories. Listen to simple conversations. Don't worry if you do not understand everything. Keep going. Listen again. Read again. Practice again. Remember, every page you read and every minute you listen brings you one step closer to fluency. Success doesn't come from studying perfectly. Success comes from practicing consistently. Keep reading. Keep listening. Keep believing in yourself. Chapter 6. Staying motivated and never giving up. We will talk about something that's even more significant than grammar, vocabulary. We will talk about motivation and how to keep going when learning becomes challenging. When Ali began learning English, he was very excited. Every new word felt exciting. Every little improvement made him delighted. But after several months, something changed. Learning no longer felt simple. Some days, Ali felt tired. Some days, he forgot words he had already learned. Sometimes, he listened to English and understood almost nothing. Sometimes, he spoke and made many mistakes. He began asking himself, "Am I really improving?" This question made him feel discouraged. One evening, Ali sat alone in his room. He opened his English notebook and looked at all the pages he had written over the past few months. He remembered the excitement he had felt when he first began learning. Then, he realized something significant. Every person who learns a language experiences challenging moments. Feeling frustrated doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're learning. This realization changed his mindset. The next day, Ali made a new decision. He decided to stop focusing only on how far he still needed to go. Instead, he would focus on how far he had already come. He opened his very first notebook. The sentences were simple. My name is Ali. I like tea. I have one brother. Then, he looked at his recent writing. He was writing full paragraphs. He could express his ideas much more clearly. For the first time, he saw his own progress. This motivated him to continue. Ali also learned the importance of setting little goals. Before, he had only one large goal. I want to speak English fluently, but this goal felt very far away. So, he divided it into littler goals. He decided to learn 5 new words each and every day. He decided to read 1 page each and every day. He decided to speak English for 5 minutes each and every day. These little goals felt achievable. Every time he completed a goal, he felt successful. This success gave him motivation for the next day. Another thing Ali learned was to celebrate little victories. One day, he understood an entire English video without subtitles. He celebrated. Another day, he spoke English for 10 minutes without stopping. He celebrated again. When he completed his first English book, he felt proud. These little celebrations made learning enjoyable. Ali also discovered that comparing himself to others was dangerous. Sometimes he watched videos of people speaking English fluently. He saw learners who improved very quickly. He thought, why am I learning so gradually? This made him feel undelighted. But then he realized something significant. Everyone has a different journey. Some people learn quicker. Some people learn more gradually. The only person he needed to compare himself to was the person he had been yesterday. But this simple idea gave him peace. Another challenge Ali faced was boredom. Sometimes doing the same exercises each and every day became repetitive. He felt tired of reading the same kinds of stories. He felt tired of repeating vocabulary words. So, he decided to make learning fun. He began watching English movies. He listened to English songs. He played vocabulary games. He watched videos about subjects he loved. When learning became enjoyable, staying motivated became easier. Ali also learned the importance of taking breaks. At first, he believed that studying for many hours each and every day was the best approach. But after several weeks, he became exhausted. He couldn't concentrate. He stopped enjoying English. Then he realized that rest is also part of learning. When he felt tired, he took short breaks. He went for a walk. He listened to music. He spent time with his family. After resting, he returned to learning with fresh energy. This assisted him stay consistent. Another significant lesson Ali learned was to forgive himself for mistakes. There were days when he skipped practice. There were days when he forgot to study. At first, he felt guilty, but then he understood that nobody is perfect. Missing one day doesn't mean failure. The significant thing is to begin again. Whenever he missed a day, he simply continued the next day. This prevented him from giving up completely. Ali also created a list of reasons why he wanted to learn English. He wrote, "I want to speak confidently. I want to understand English movies. I want to travel. I want improved opportunities. I want to communicate with people around the world." Whenever he felt discouraged, he read this list. It reminded him why he had begun. This gave him strength. One day, after many months of practice, Ali experienced something unexpected. He was watching an English interview online. Without realizing it, he understood almost everything. He smiled. He remembered the days when he couldn't understand even a simple sentence. Now, he could follow entire conversations. This moment reminded him that progress often happens gradually and quietly. You may not notice improvement each and every day, but if you continue practicing, improvement will come. Ali also learned that motivation doesn't always come first. Sometimes action comes first. On days when he didn't feel motivated, he studied anyway. After studying for 10 minutes, he usually felt improved. He discovered that motivation often appears after you begin working. This lesson changed everything. Eventually, Ali stopped asking, "Am I motivated today?" Instead, he asked, "What little step can I take today?" This question assisted him keep moving forward. If you want to learn English alone, remember that motivation will sometimes disappear. That's normal. Don't wait to feel perfect. Don't wait to feel ready. Just take one little step. Learn one word. Read one page. Listen for 5 minutes. Speak one sentence. Little actions create large results. Remember, success in English isn't about talent. It's not about being smart. It's about showing up each and every day and refusing to give or leaving. And most significantly, never stop moving forward. Chapter 7: Becoming a Confident English Speaker and Continuing the Journey. We will talk about the most significant result of all your hard work. We will talk about becoming a confident English speaker and continuing your journey for life. When Ali first began learning English, he had one dream. He wanted to speak English confidently. He didn't want to feel afraid anymore. He didn't want to remain silent when someone spoke English. He wanted to express his thoughts freely. But confidence didn't come quickly. It came gradually. It came after hundreds of hours of listening. It came after thousands of mistakes. It came after many days of practice. One day, Ali received a message from an international student online. The student wanted to practice English conversation. Ali felt nervous. His hands became cold. His hands became cold. His heart began beating quicker. He thought, what if I make mistakes? What if I can't understand? What if I embarrass myself for a moment? He wanted to refuse. But then he remembered everything he had learned. He remembered all the hours he had practiced speaking to himself. He remembered all the books he had read. He remembered all the audio lessons he had listened to. He remembered all the mistakes he had overcome. So, he decided to try. Their first conversation lasted only 5 minutes. Ali made many mistakes. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes he paused for a long time. Sometimes he used incorrect grammar. But something surprising happened. The conversation continued. The other person smiled and encouraged him. They understood each other. When the conversation ended, Ali felt incredibly delighted. For the first time, he realized that communication is more significant than perfection. This lesson changed everything. After that day, Ali continued practicing conversations whenever he had the opportunity. Each conversation became easier. Each mistake became less frightening. His confidence gradually grew. Ali also discovered that confidence is built through action. A great many folks wait until they feel confident before they speak. But Ali learned that confidence comes after speaking, not before. Every time he practiced, his confidence became powerfuler. Another significant lesson Ali learned was that fluency doesn't mean speaking perfectly. Before, he believed that fluent speakers never made mistakes. But after listening to many native speakers, he noticed something interesting. Even native speakers sometimes forget words. Even native speakers make mistakes. The goal of language learning isn't perfection. The goal is communication. This realization removed much of his fear. Ali stopped worrying about every little grammar mistake. Instead, he focused on sharing his ideas. As a result, he became an improved communicator. Another thing Ali learned was to enjoy conversations. At first, every conversation felt like a test. He worried about pronunciation. He worried about grammar. He worried about vocabulary. But later, he changed his perspective. He began thinking of conversations as opportunities to learn and connect with people. This made speaking much more enjoyable. One evening, Ali decided to watch one of the first English videos he had ever studied. He smiled as he remembered how challenging it had seemed. At that time, he had understood only several words. Now, he understood almost everything. He realized how much progress he had made. This experience taught him another significant lesson. Progress is often invisible while it's happening. You may not notice improvement each and every day, but if you continue practicing, one day you will look back and see how far you have come. Ali also learned that learning English never truly ends. Even after becoming confident, he continued learning. He learned new vocabulary. He discovered he listened to new accents. He read more books. He continued growing. This made learning exciting. He no longer studied English because he had to. He studied English because he enjoyed it. One day, a beginner asked Ali, "How did you learn English alone?" Ali smiled. He remembered all the challenging days. He remembered the mistakes. He remembered the fear. Then he gave a simple answer. "I learned one day at a time." This was the secret. Not talent, not intelligence, not expensive courses, just daily practice, daily patience, daily effort. Ali explained that learning English is like planting a tree. At first, you see nothing. You water the soil each and every day. You wait. Sometimes you wonder if anything is happening. But beneath the surface, the roots are growing. Then one day, the tree begins to appear. It grows gradually. It becomes powerfuler each and every day. Eventually, it becomes something lovely. Learning English works the same way. Every word you learn is a seed. Every sentence you speak is water. Every mistake assists the roots grow powerfuler. If you continue practicing, your English will grow. Remember, these significant lessons begin with little steps. Practice each and every day. Don't fear mistakes. Read often. Listen often. Speak often. Think in English. Stay patient. Stay positive. And never compare your journey with someone else's journey. Most significantly, believe in yourself. You're capable of learning English. You're capable of improving. You're capable of becoming fluent. The journey may be long. Some days may be challenging. But every step forward matters. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that learning English isn't simply about learning words and grammar. It's about opening new doors. It's about building confidence. It's about connecting with people around the world. It's about discovering what you're capable of achieving. Thank you for being part of this journey. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Keep growing. And never stop believing in yourself. Your English journey is only beginning.